It looks like there are about 282 households watching this live, which means that someone from my extended family is not actually watching this. Um, I'll have to look into that later. Now, obviously, this coronavirus thing is not a joke, but it's almost like the end of a bad charity campaign. You know, there's 10 minutes to go and the number is way down, and you look back 10 minutes later and the number of infected is like way up. It seems like it's the end of a bad charity campaign. So I went into my garage. I brought the sukkah inside. This was, like a sign of Emunah and Bitachon and the Eibishter and Hashem. So I brought the sukkah inside. I should probably come out of the sukkah every once in a while and help my wife with the kids. That would probably be a good idea. Now, Frum Jewish singers are usually of the opinion that they get a bad rap, no pun intended. But can you imagine if comedians could be like the Jewish singers? We'd come up with like one set and just run with it for years. Like we'd have our Hashem Melech comedy set. We'd find a nice Spanish song, flip it into English, Hashem Melech, And when things were waning and people were like not feeling it so much anymore, we'd just like collab with Nissim Black and say, hey, Hashem Melech comedy set 2.0, and would be fresh and ready to go. And everyone would be happy. Now, the truth of the matter is that I'm really not a comedian. That's for the professionals. I'm a Frum comedy influencer, and I recently attended like a small Zoom class on comedy. So I'm also a Frum comedy life coach, Frum comedy influencer life coach. Now I'm perfectly qualified in the Frum world to do these things, to be a Frum comedy influencer life coach, because I've got no experience in comedy. I've never earned a nickel off comedy. Most of my jokes aren't funny, and until I had Instagram, nobody even knew of me. So that makes me perfectly qualified in the Frum world to be a life coach, comedy influencer. Now, truth of the matter is that I'm a Rebbe in school. Now, people often look at you strange when you're like at the market and you're a Rebbe. Like when, let's say you're in like the meat aisle, like, and you take something off the shelf, they're like, whoa. They're thinking to themselves, how could he afford that? It's not so bad if you know how to fill out your tax return. And one of the people in the store, he didn't even think it. He actually said it. He came up to me and he said, yo, whoa, you've got really nice clothes. How could you afford them? I said, my mother, she's a pro knitter. She knitted them for me, all of them, my kids, my wife, everyone. She knits all their clothes. He said, okay, what about the car outside? How did you get that? I said, yeah, she knits those from steel wool. Anyway, so that was that. Coronavirus has stopped everyone dwelling so much on the shidduch crisis. I was told that the World Shidduch Organization were thinking and have actually updated the shidduch crisis to a pandemic. They're hoping that people would actually start taking it seriously and do something about it. Like the Shadchan would come out to a press conference, the chief of the World Shidduch Organization, and she would say, the shidduch crisis is now a pandemic. We need to flatten the curve of the amount of single girls there are. If not, we'll be facing the exact same problem China was facing 2 months ago. And then you'd have that one pesky reporter in the gallery who would say, whoa, what problem was China facing 2 months ago with regards to the shidduch crisis? I mean pandemic. They had 2 Jewish engagements the whole year. Well, at least thank goodness for Chabad Shluchim, or else that would have been 0 engagements for the year. And then the pesky reporter would push on and say, but how do you suggest we take more action on this? Stay home, boys. Single Jewish girls are way more likely to find the Bachar marriable if they stay home and never meet in person. Zoom engagements, left, right, and center. Of course, you're going to have those few that openly defy the shidduch crisis pandemic and will still attempt to date in person, only to hear back from the shadchan. They're like going to call up the shadchan after the date, and she's going to say, yes, it went okay, but the girl wants someone who is more into pikuach nefesh than mesiras nefesh, but she thinks you're an all-round nice guy. So again, the advice is to stay home. Now, this is for the guys. Guys, remember, when this is done, you need to go and edit your shidduch profile where it says that you daven with a minyan daily. You got to clarify what your minion position during Corona was and is. Be very specific. Make sure you say no minion, minion outdoors, or murderer. So make sure you update your shidduch profile properly. Now, one of the nice things, I'm trying to be nice to my neighbors. I get to see them a lot more during this whole shidduch. During this whole Corona pandemic problem. And so one of the nice things I thought I would do is that I would give my neighbor some of my old Frum magazines. I gave him Mishpacha magazine, and he says to me, I didn't know that you guys were so egalitarian, or that you had such egalitarian marriages. I said, why? He said, I would never have assumed so. I see your wife coming in from the market. She's got shopping bags in her hands and kids under her chin. It doesn't seem that you have such egalitarian marriages. I was confused. I said, but what made you think of that? He said, I was paging through the ads of Mishpacha. Dads do the homework with the kids. Dads change the diapers. Dads do the cooking. It seems like dads do everything around the house. I said, yep, very egalitarian. He got it straight away. Anyways, speaking of Mishpacha, I actually heard that they are launching a musical. It's called Maudie Poppins. It's starring Mordechai Shapiro. It's about a guy who dresses in black and white. He can dance, and he's coming to a summer camp near you with an umbrella. So that is Maudie Poppins coming from Mishpacha. Avram Fried is also appearing in it. He's going to be one of the chimney sweeps, but they're not giving him a ladder to get up to the chimneys. He's just going to put on some of his high-heeled shoes and he'll go straight up. So Avremel's also going to appear. Now, it's going to be amazing. Meir Kay is starring in it too. Meir Kay was announced by Schmaltz News a few months ago. He's the official shliach to the homeless. And things have been a little bit way too easy for Meir Kay these days, because with everyone self-quarantining, it's just like super easy to spot homeless people. But then again, it must be a little bit tough for Meir. You know, he's used to spending a day here and a day there running around New York high-fiving people. Can't do that anymore. So things must be getting pretty tough, but he'll be there too. Now, I didn't realize who the fellow comedians were before I prepared the set, but I'm going all out with it. Uncle Moshe's are also set to appear on Maudie Poppins. Uncle Moshe's and the Mitzvah Men's, they're all going to appear on Maudie Poppins. When you think of the whole situation, I know we got the man himself to speak for himself over here, but it must have been really, really tough on the original Uncle Moshe. You know, like he's sitting around there one day, he gets a call from his manager and he's like all excited, a show coming up. And the manager gets on and he goes, Uncle Moshe, he says, yeah, was machst du? How are you? We got a show lined up. I'm so excited. Mitzvah men already got on the keyboard, the mems, it's all set, ready to go. He says, no. What is it? You sound proud. He said, yeah, Uncle Moshe, we got a younger Uncle Moshe. And when he trips over brooms in pizza stores, he actually can get up by himself. So we're going with him. Now, must have been a really, really, really hard day for Uncle Moshe handing over all those mems. You know what I mean? It must have been really tough. Think about it. Can you imagine MBD getting a phone call? Hi, Reb Mordechai. This is from his manager. Reb Mordechai. Yeah. So how are you? Baruch Hashem, all's going well. Reb Mordechai. Yeah, they make small talk. Reb Mordechai, there's a new kid on the block. Okay, you want me to collaborate with him? You want me to do a kumzitz with him? What do you want? He's going to be the new MBD. What? Okay. And what about my songs? Are they mine or his? What about my songs? He says, oh, they're his. What about Someday, Mashiach, and Just One Shabbos? Can I keep those? Someday, Mashiach, and Just One Shabbos. Can I keep those? No. Okay, if you're showing replacing me, can I pick the replacement? Shulam Lemmer, Mati Steinmetz. He says, no, sorry. Sony Music owns Shulam and Yishai Rebo owns Mati.